Missouri.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. O'Malley, the AFGE, the same exact federal union that you signed a contract with so that the SSA employees can continue to work remote until, or some of them can continue work remote until 2029, recently decided that to send its own employees. So the union decided that the employees that work for them, that they wanted them to return to work. In fact, the new return to office mandate ordered by the national president, Everett Kellery, is designed to ensure that the staff is fully prepared to tackle an onslaught of Trump's policies targeting federal workers. So it seems that it's a direct admission by, AFGE, the union, that in-person work actually is better. Would you agree?
It depends. I mean, I ordered more in-person work. I'm not familiar with what their policy is, but for us, we found that at the headquarters components where people have to collaborate and work out problems,
Right.
yeah, I don't think there's a substitute
But this
for people
created a
being on
dispute
site.
between the employees as well of that union, who filed a labor grievance against their own union, calling the move hypocritical. Do you find that hypocritical?
I'm not aware of I'm not deeply aware. I just can't speak to the facts of what's going on at a union.
Let me ask this question.
Yes, sir.
Working in the private sector, most of the time, well, not most of the time, every time a private sector business chooses which employees can work remote, often it's done based on performance. You know that the employee has high performance standards. Therefore, oftentimes the employer might reward that employee with the high performance employees with the ability to work remote. Is that something that's possible with the employees of the Social Security Administration?
Yeah, I don't know that we ever reward employees by giving them more time to telework.
So it's not based on performance. That's my question.
No, actually it is. Management, and I'm reading from the much maligned amendment, management also has sole discretion to change, reduce, or suspend approved telework days for any employee due to the employee's performance.
Okay. So is their pay influenced by any performance?
Well, ultimately it can be, and they also would not get the performance awards in the PACS program that you all do in the federal government that we never did in city or state government.
Okay, Mike. So in the private sector, I can tell you that we do things like monitor computer usage, monitor email, the frequency of
Yes, sir.
opening emails, internet browsing history. There's things like inactivity alerts.
Right.
There's social media monitoring
Yeah.
and other things like that. Is that being done?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Drew Ferguson, your recently retired colleague, can tell you about it because he actually came to Security Stat and saw live how we monitored 4,700 people that were on the phones trying to answer as quickly as possible that growing backlog. It was real time, and if they were on the call longer,
if they're not, are they fired?
yes, they're disciplined if they're not
Okay.
working, certainly.
Ms. Gretzler, my question regarding to this is, you were just talking earlier about how difficult it is to fire an employee who's not performing. How difficult is it, and how often does it happen compared to the private sector?
It's extremely difficult. As I mentioned, it takes more than a year and a half on average to get rid of a federal employee. The firing rates are a tiny fraction. I believe the exact statistic is in my testimony, but it just does not happen very often. And I think that the point that needs to be made is that the Telework Authority needs to be with management. It can't be taken away from them, because then when you do have problems, like an SSA employee who was having his wife and his mother log on to the system to make it look like he was working while he was instead running a home business, you can't have that accountability if it's baked into the cake that those deputy commissioners no longer have authority over this telework policy.
One of the other statistics that's interesting is that the level of union participation, I think in the public sector is 25% in the federal government, but in the private sector it's much lower. It's lower than 10%. What is the reason for that?
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, especially considering that federal employees can't bargain for their pay and benefits.
Who are they bargaining against?
Well, and that's the irony here, and it's one of the reasons that FDR opposed federal employees even belonging to union less yet being able to use that official time, because both sides of the table are being paid by taxpayers.
That's right. Both sides are
that's-
being, and the taxpayer's the one getting the bill.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. My time has expired.
Gentleman's time has